Hello, welcome back to another video. Welcome back to the YouTube channel, people. And yeah, another match reaction to another FA Cup quarter final. Make sure you're leaving a like on the video and subscribing if you are new. We're trying to reach 1K before the end of the season, people. And yeah, congratulations to Nottingham Forest. They joined Crystal Palace. I'm pretty sure they faced Crystal Palace um, to go to Wembley. Which when we looked at the FA Cup a lot earlier in the season, there was barely any Big Six teams, and it was a great opportunity for all the non-Big Six teams to take the opportunity to win their first FA Cup either in a while or ever. Forest have won it before, I'm pretty sure, but I think it's been a very long time, very very long time, and they're having an amazing season. They're having an amazing season. It was a terrible game. Don't get me wrong; it was terrible to watch. I'm assuming Nuno wasn't taking it as serious as he would take the league, but it's like he's still taking it somewhat serious. So that's why Hudson and Elanga probably got more of a rest. Um, but the game changed when they came on, even though Elanga did come up for a Woyani, I'm pretty sure. So it was kind of a case of they didn't really have all the attackers they wanted. So because Chris Wood's coming back from New Zealand on international duty, I'm assuming that's why he wasn't there. Um, but for me, it's been an amazing season for Nottingham Forest. It's been amazing, and you could potentially go into an FA Cup final. You're now going to face Crystal Palace. Won't be an easy game. Definitely won't be an easy game. That's going to be a tight game. That'll be boring to watch as well, but it'll be interesting to see how that pans out because I can't call that. I can't call that because as much as Nottingham Forest are um, really good, really good this season, you never know because Palace are in really good form. Palace are in really good form. Nottingham Forest have been just very good throughout the whole season, so that'll be a game to look forward to for sure. And obviously on the other side, you've got either Villa, Preston, Bournemouth, and Man City you could face in the final. You probably don't want to face Man City, but at the same time, you might want to face Man City because Palace drew against them, Nottingham Forest beat them, so you never know. You never know. I think I could see on Jack Hinshelwood's face before he was going to miss it, before he missed the penalty that he was going to miss. I think that was quite obvious. I think that was one of the more obvious things. But as soon as he did that deep breath, I knew that was going to be a terrible penalty. Terrible penalty. Hudson Odoi's penalty was top. I didn't expect Nico Williams to miss. Thought it was a bit of a risk for Morgan Gibbs White to come off. I thought it was a big risk for Morgan Gibbs White to come off because, as the commentator said when the game was on, he's been involved in a lot of their penalty shootouts when they have scored. It's usually him, Murillo, Nico Williams, and Chris Wood. Usually the ones I'm pretty sure that are like the first to take penalties. And with Chris Wood not there, you'd like to think one of your stronger penalty takers that are already there, you'd like to put up there. But they didn't. They didn't. Um, and that was just a terrible game in general. That was a terrible game in general. I thought when Brighton put Adingra and Gomez on, the game kind of changed. The game kind of changed. As much as Forest were keeping their shape quite well, Brighton were stretching them a little bit more, finding more openings, a little bit more, trying to find the pockets of their organized defense. Because listen, coming up against Murillo, Milinkovic, Ola Aina, and Nico Williams, it's not easy this season. And then they put Morato on, which makes it even worse, makes it a lot worse. So the few chances they got, they needed to take because you're not going to get many clear cut chances against Nottingham Forest. That's for sure. And yeah, yeah, very, 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 very difficult for Brighton. Um, they played some all right stuff. I still think they're lacking the kind of midfielders with the tenacity that Caicedo and McAllister actually had when they were there. They still haven't really replaced them. I know they're quite difficult people to replace because look at what McAllister and Caicedo were doing at their respective clubs right now, especially Caicedo since he's been at Chelsea. But at the same time, you got to move on. And I think Baliba's a good midfielder. I don't think he should be touted for a big move, though. I do think this is kind of his level. I I just don't think they have that star quality of midfielders, which is interesting now to see how they're going to do in the window because they did spend money in the summer, but because they have earned so much over the years whilst being in the Premier League, they kind of can do that. I'm sure they're far from struggling when it comes to PSR. Probably far from it. Let's be real. So I'm interested to see how the rest of their season goes. They're still in the European battle, so they'll probably be gutted that they can't go to Wembley and can't face Crystal Palace because that would have been a game that both fan base would have probably looked forward to. I don't know whether Palace fans would have rather wanted to face Forest or Brighton, because obviously you don't really want Brighton to go through, but you might want that spectacle at Wembley. Whereas Brighton, I don't know. I don't know. Would you want to face Palace, or would you rather Fulham had won today if you had won? That's what I would like to know as well. Um, I think João Pedro was their only really real match winner. Like Welbeck isn't as much of a match winner as he used to be, but at the same time, he still popped up with the goals. So I feel like if you're going to try and progress to Europe this season, João Pedro and Welbeck, when fit, are probably going to have to be the two that will stand out. They are both kind of. I feel like João Pedro is also injury prone, but I could be wrong. Danny Welbeck's definitely injury prone. He's also in his mid-30s, whereas João Pedro, I feel like he does pick up a few injuries. So if they can keep them two fit, especially with Rutter on crutches, um, they have a great chance of getting Europe. It can go anywhere within the league table, and it'll be great for them to get Europe, because I didn't even think they look convincing half the time when they actually play. But at the same time, you've got to FA Cup quarter final when you're sixth in the table in the Premier League. That's a really good season so far for Brighton as well. Like I'm sure their fans will be somewhat happy with where they are. And I just don't really rate this manager. I think he's a bit too naive at times, and I feel like his naivety will come back to creep up against them. I just think this league is a bit weird, but at the same time, they've got more star quality in terms of final third players. I feel like they have better final third players than the teams that actually play better as a team. Sometimes I feel like Fulham and Bournemouth lack sometimes some final third quality, even though they have good players in the final third. I feel like they don't have enough match winners. That's why Brighton are there. But that's just me. That's just me. As it goes for Forest, so you're in the FA Cup semi final now, and you're third in the Premier League. Who would have thought at the start of the season? Who would have thought that would happen at the start of the season? But Nuno Espirito Santo deserves a lot of credit, because they don't always play low block football, but they're just so solid in defence, and you don't want to come up against Hudson-Odoi and Elanga in attack. As much as he didn't score today, when Hudson-Odoi came on, he just looks like he's enjoying football again. He just looks like he's enjoying the game, and I feel like that's the main thing, because he's got that like no pressure on him anymore, because he's not at Chelsea where you're the academy kid, you're at a big six club. There's a lot of pressure on you already, and you're English as well as it is. So even though the English tax and your price tag will be up, there's a lot more eyes on you. Whereas at Forest, you can kind of have a new lease of life. Even though there's pressure, there's definitely still pressure at Forest. It's just a different type of pressure. You're still allowed to express yourself a little bit more. As they're kind of known as the underdogs, they can carry this on for a few years and see where they can build on it. And they love to spend money as well. So I'm interested to know what positions they would like to upgrade on. I have a feeling left back, because I don't feel like they've settled on a left back this season. But like I feel like before Nico Williams was there, it was Alex Moreno. Like they might want a left back, and they just settle with a back four of them, Murillo, Milinkovic, Ola Aina. Maybe Murillo goes. I don't think he's going to, because listen, if Forest are in the Champions League, it's going to be very hard to get Forest players. Very hard. I don't really see many of their players leaving. Like Murillo's the only one that's linked. I know there's going to be a lot of teams trying to follow Ola Aina around. I don't know whether there's talks for him with a new deal. I know Matt Sells has had a great season, but I don't feel like many of their players are going to leave. And if they do, they most likely will recruit well anyway. So yeah, Ola Aina, terrific season. Terrific season. Definitely by far the best right back of the season as well. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Make sure to smash a like on the video. Make sure to subscribe if you're new. We're live at 11 for pro clubs. And yeah, I'll catch you guys in a bit. Take care and peace.